Hello, 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 hello,
Hello. Guidelines for question writing, the Trivia Factory. No answer should be a number. Example, how tall was George Washington in inches? 70 inches. Not going to fly. There is an exception. The exception is the number is a very important number in history or pop culture. An example of this would be how many gigawatts is needed to power the Back to the Future car? That would be 1.21 gigawatts. 1.21 is a number, but it's a very important number relative to pop culture in Back to the Future. Next rule, no multiple choice questions. Now, this may seem easy to understand, but can be a little misleading. The example is, in what ocean would you find the Mariana Trench? Considering that there are 5 oceans, this would make the question multiple choice. Even though you don't give the choices to them, it still is a multiple choice question. The exception to the rule is any question that has only 12 possible answers or lower is considered multiple choice. This takes out any questions that deal with months of the year or days of the week or anything like that. There you go. No current events. Current event questions become who watched the news today questions. That's not trivia. An example, what Hollywood child actor died today from an apparent drug overdose? Corey Haim. The exception to that rule is you can write a trivia question about the overall theme of that current event. An example of that would be what child actor died on Halloween 1993 from a drug overdose? River Phoenix. No long questions. The questions need to be able to fit on one line from left to right. An exception, well, there's always exceptions for this. Make sure you get the important information in the question, but nothing more. We need to make it quick and easy for the trivia host to read. Make questions easy to read. Big words need stupid person's pronunciation. That's our term for stupid person pronunciation. This is an example of that. Kobe is in Kobe Bryant or Kobe Japan. CO-B, Kobe. Russia, Rush-A. I know it seems very simple, but this is how most of the general population learns to pronounce a word, is sounding it out or using words that they already know to build the word that they're looking at. A pronunciation that comes in the dictionary is just too hard to understand. Most of the general public does not understand all of the elements that go into making that pronunciation in a dictionary. No questions that contain the phrase originally named, such as what baseball team was originally named the Washington Senators, or what was the original name of George Washington, or what was the original name of Elton John. Those are not going to work. That is more trivia. We are looking for general knowledge questions. About how many? How many would go kind of along one of the first rules that we outlined. No answer should contain a number. When you start out the question with how many, chances are you're going to ask for a number. So don't do that. Number 3, we do not do spelling questions. Having someone spell a word, number 1, introduces an element of pronunciation for the trivia host. In other words, if it's a word that we're trying to have them spell, it's probably a difficult word to spell, therefore it's a difficult word to pronounce. So that kind of goes against an earlier rule of having the pronunciation easily, or an easy pronunciation. And not to mention, spelling is not trivia, plain and simple. The next rule deals with the bonus question. For those who don't know, we do 4 possible answers. If they get 3 right, then they receive the wager that they put down. If they attempt to answer the 4th question or 4th answer, they will receive 25 points if they get all 4 right. If they miss that 4th answer but get the first 3 answers, we're going to give them their wager, but we're going to take 25 points away from that wager. All right. Now the first rule, the first 2 answers should be able to be answered by 80% of the trivia population. When you've got 4 possible answers, half of them need to be doable. The 3rd answer should be able to be answered by 20% of the population. This makes it much more difficult. That 3rd answer really determines whether they receive their wager or not. And then finally, the 4th answer should be answered by only 5% of the trivia population. Now, keep in mind when you're equating the trivia population to the general population, you're talking about a very small segment, and most of that segment are smart. So this 5% of the trivia population would be less than 1% of the general population. So it needs to be very difficult. Finally, the format for your questions. This is the actual format, the nuts and bolts. Your font should be in Helvetica. It should be 12 points and regular typeface.